I guess you remember our flower lens. Yeah, it's here. The Canon Kit lens, 18-55 millimeters. And of course, you can take photo like this or like this. And later we will retouch it and you can see the final result. For such a photo, what we need? We will use orange color background. And again, the camera should be steady on a tripod, on a table, on a chair, wherever it should be steady. So, this is our setup. A sun water protection on a black background. Once your setup is ready, darken the room and adjust your camera settings as I demonstrate. The camera must be in manual mode, with the shutter speed set to 5 seconds. Set the aperture to f16 and the ISO to 100. Don't forget to shoot in RAW and set the self-timer to 2 seconds to avoid any camera shake when you press the shutter button. Set the background color of your smartphone to orange and replicate what I do with my phone after pressing the shutter button. You can try different moves and you will end up with such results. I like the last shot. It is time for Photoshop. Now we are in the camera raw interface. I will start with the lights. Let's try auto adjustments. Now I will refine them. I will slightly increase the exposure, keep the whites the same, and increase the shadows. We are done with the lights panel. I will skip a few panels and adjust the color in the color mixer panel. I will adjust the hue, saturation, and luminance of the reds, oranges, and yellows to achieve a reddish, vivid tint. In the color grading panel, I will slightly decrease the shadows and slightly increase the midtones. I'm done with the camera raw interface. Now I'm ready for the main Photoshop interface. First, I will use the rulers and set them in the center of the frame as I want to center the product. Let's duplicate the layer and use the transform tool to adjust it and center it on the frame. Now merge all the layers and delete the old layer. I will rename the new layer base. We will create a new layer and rename it blur. Time to go to filter, blur, and radial blur. Set the amount to 25, blur method to spin, and quality to best. Then click OK. Let's create a mask on the blurred layer and apply a radial gradient on it. We don't want the blur to affect the product. Actually, the black should be on the right side and the white on the left side of the gradient. Let's refine the gradient. As you see, there's a part of the bottle's cover that is not completely refined, so we will use the black brush tool on the mask to remove those unwanted areas. In this situation, the text on the background of the bottle is not really flattering, so let's remove it. We will use the pen tool to select the background parts and correct them. I will do it quickly. Once we are done with the pen tool, right-click and choose Make a Selection. Set the feather radius to 2 and click OK. Actually, I forgot to create a layer where we will do the correction. Simply select the blur layer and merge all the layers into a new one, and I will name it Correction while keeping the selection. Now we will use the Mixer brush tool. The wet is already set to 78. I will start painting over the layer to mix the colors and unify them seamlessly. Now it looks better. I will do the same for the right part. Now let's add some light by creating a new layer and painting over it with a regular white brush. We will set its blending mode to soft light and apply some Gaussian blur on it to feather it. I will set all the layers I created into a group and rename it New. Now let's apply some curves to create that reddish, glowy mood. In this case, I will work with the red curve by sliding the shadow's red tones higher and adjusting the midtones. I will adjust the RGB curve too until I am satisfied. Now I will darken the top of the bottle by using the quick selection tool. Let's create a new curves adjustment layer and I will darken the selected part. So here is the before and after. I'll be so glad if you subscribe to my channel. Maybe meet again. Yeah, maybe meet again. Bye bye.